A new threat actor group, dubbed Hazy has surfaced in the complex world of cybersecurity. Security researchers at Infoblox brought their concerning activities to public attention. This occurred recently, specifically on May 20th, 2025. This group represents a significant and growing concern within the ever-evolving cybersecurity landscape. Their methods, while often exploiting seemingly old or minor oversights, demonstrate a sophisticated understanding of Internet infrastructure vulnerabilities. They primarily focus on vulnerabilities that are frequently overlooked by busy IT departments. These departments operate within large organizations across the globe. The digital world must now prepare to reckon with yet another cunning and adaptable adversary. Hazy operations clearly underscore the persistent, pervasive nature of cyber threats in modern times. Their specific tactics serve as a stark and unwelcome reminder of the many hidden dangers lurking online. Hazy primary modus operandi involves the clever exploitation of misconfigured domain name system, DNS, records. More specifically, they strategically target CNAME records within an organization's DNS settings. These particular records are designed and intended to point legitimate domain traffic towards the correct active servers for websites or services. However, Hazy actively seeks out CNAME records that inadvertently point to abandoned cloud services. These are online services that organizations might have utilized in the past but have since decommissioned or ceased using. The crucial yet common error made by these organizations is their failure to update or delete the corresponding DNS entries. This simple oversight effectively creates a gaping hole in their digital defenses. Hazy skillfully and opportunistically turns this seemingly innocuous digital detritus into a potent weapon for their campaigns. The immediate and primary objective for the Hazy group is to successfully hijack trusted subdomains. These subdomains are not random. They belong to a wide and diverse array of high-profile organizations. We are discussing entities whose online presence and digital brand are generally considered secure, trustworthy, and reliable by the public and their customers. Once a targeted subdomain is compromised and under their control, it swiftly becomes a valuable tool for the attackers. The inherent trust and established reputation associated with the legitimate parent domain name are then insidiously leveraged. This exploitation of trust makes their subsequent malicious activities, such as phishing or malware distribution, far more effective and dangerous. End users are significantly less likely to suspect a link or communication originating from a known and respected brand name. The targets selected by Hazy are far from minor players in their respective fields. The group has demonstrated its capability by successfully compromising subdomains of critical government agencies. They have also targeted prestigious universities known for their research and large student bodies. Furthermore, major Fortune 500 companies, leaders in global commerce, have fallen victim to these attacks. This broad and ambitious targeting strategy strongly indicates a well-resourced, organized, and determined operation. The implications of such compromises are significant. They can lead to a serious erosion of public trust and a substantial blow to organizational security integrity. The sheer variety of victims clearly demonstrates that no single sector is immune to these kinds of attacks. This widespread vulnerability highlights a common, yet critical, blind spot in digital asset management practices across numerous industries worldwide. The scale of these attacks is truly concerning for the global digital ecosystem. The specific vulnerability that Hazy expertly exploits lies within the seemingly innocuous realm of dangling DNS records. These are, most commonly, CNAME records that regrettably continue to point to cloud service endpoints that no longer actively exist or are maintained by the original owner. An organization might, for various operational reasons, decide to discontinue a cloud-based application or a specific online service. During this decommissioning process, they might unfortunately forget the crucial step of removing or updating the DNS CNAME record that was associated with that now-defunct service. This forgotten record then becomes a dangerous digital loose end. Hazy and similar threat actors actively and persistently search for these orphaned DNS pointers. These dangling records effectively represent an open, unintended invitation for malicious actors to exploit. This simple administrative mistake can, and often does, have far-reaching and severe consequences for overall domain security. Hazy employs a highly methodical and systematic approach to first identify and then exploit these prevalent DNS vulnerabilities. They systematically scan vast portions of the internet, specifically looking for domains. Their automated scans are programmed to detect CNAME records that are pointing to potentially abandoned or decommissioned cloud service endpoints. To confirm their suspicions, they often utilize passive DNS data validation techniques. This helps them verify if these identified endpoints are indeed inactive and available for takeover. Once a promising and vulnerable target subdomain is identified through this reconnaissance phase, the attackers then swiftly move to the next critical stage of their operation. They proceed to register new cloud resources entirely under their own control. Crucially, and this is key to their success, they use the exact same names or host names as the previously abandoned cloud resources. This precise naming allows them to effectively claim the orphaned digital address space. When Hazy successfully registers a new cloud resource that perfectly mirrors an abandoned one, a critical and dangerous shift occurs in traffic routing. The original organization's subdomain, which is still linked via the old, unrectified CNAME record, now inadvertently directs all its legitimate traffic to the attacker's infrastructure instead of the intended or now non-existent service. This redirection happens seamlessly and almost always invisibly to the unsuspecting end user visiting the subdomain. The hijacked subdomain, now under attacker control, cunningly retains the complete appearance of legitimacy. It continues to benefit from the high trust score and the established positive reputation of its parent domain. This inherent deception is absolutely key to the overall success of their subsequent malicious campaigns, as users are more likely to interact with content on a familiar domain. Unsuspecting users are thereby easily led directly into a carefully prepared trap. The entire sophisticated operation, though complex in its precise execution and impact, fundamentally relies on a very basic lapse in routine cybersecurity hygiene. Many organizations are unfortunately failing to perform a critical, albeit mundane, administrative task. They are not consistently deleting or updating their DNS records after their associated cloud services or other externally hosted resources are properly decommissioned. This simple oversight, this failure in digital housekeeping, is the absolute linchpin of Hazy entire attack strategy. If these dangling DNS records were properly managed and promptly removed or updated, the attack vector they exploit would simply not exist. This situation starkly highlights the profound importance of meticulous and ongoing record-keeping, especially within the increasingly dynamic and complex modern cloud environment. A small, proactive act of digital housekeeping can effectively prevent significant financial and reputational damage. The comprehensive list of organizations that have been negatively impacted by Hazy insidious activities is both extensive and deeply alarming. It notably includes a roster of highly reputable and widely recognized entities from a diverse range of critical sectors. For instance, official subdomains belonging to cdc.gov, the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, were unfortunately compromised. The industrial giant Honeywell.com, a major player in aerospace and technology, also fell victim. Furthermore, the esteemed University of California, Berkeley, berkeley.edu, a leading academic institution, found its subdomains hijacked. Adding to this list, prominent global Big Four consulting firms such as I.com, PwC.com, and Deloitte.com were also affected by these DNS exploits. This clearly illustrates the pervasive and far-reaching nature of this particular threat. It shows that even well-established organizations with significant resources are vulnerable if basic DNS hygiene is neglected. Other notable victims of Hazy campaign include the well-known international tire manufacturer Michelin.co.uk. The popular ideas platform TED.com, famous for its influential talks, also had subdomains compromised. Government bodies were not immune either. Health.gov.au, the Australian Department of Health, and ca.gov, the official portal for the California state government, were targeted. International humanitarian organizations like UNICEF.org also found themselves on the list of affected entities. Prominent educational institutions such as NYU.edu, New York University, faced similar issues. Even global consumer goods company Unilever.com appeared among the impacted organizations, showcasing the broad appeal of this attack vector. This diverse range of targets powerfully underscores the widespread nature of the underlying DNS misconfigurations. Hazy has effectively and efficiently exploited these common yet critical oversights across the global digital landscape. Once Hazy successfully gains unauthorized control of a trusted subdomain, they move quickly to weaponize this newly acquired digital asset. The attackers then proceed to generate hundreds, and in some cases even thousands, of malicious URLs. These URLs are all hosted under the umbrella of the hijacked subdomain. Consequently, these malicious links appear entirely legitimate and trustworthy to the average, unsuspecting internet user. This perceived legitimacy arises because the URLs are nested under a parent domain name that people inherently trust and recognize. This significantly lowers the natural suspicion of users. It makes them considerably more likely to click on these dangerous links, expecting safe and relevant content. The high trust score and positive reputation of the parent domain therefore become an unwitting and unfortunate accomplice in Hazy various scam operations and malware distribution schemes. Users who are unfortunate enough to click on these deceptive URLs are typically not immediately taken to the final scam page or malware download. Instead, they are often carefully funneled through a complex and intentionally obscure series of redirects. This redirection chain frequently involves a sophisticated traffic distribution system, TDS. The primary purpose of this TDS infrastructure is to meticulously profile potential victims before delivering the final payload. It surreptitiously collects various data points from the user's device and connection. This includes information such as the type of device being used, mobile or desktop, the user's IP address, which can indicate location, and whether a virtual private network, VPN, is in use. This gathered intelligence helps the attackers to qualify their targets more effectively. It ensures that the most susceptible or valuable users are directed to the most appropriate or profitable scam. This sophisticated filtering mechanism significantly maximizes the overall effectiveness and financial return of their malicious campaigns. The malicious activities conducted by Hazy through these hijacked subdomains are notably varied and consistently harmful to end users. The group utilizes these compromised digital assets to distribute a wide and dangerous range of scams. These nefarious activities include persistent and aggressive tech support scams. These scams are cleverly designed to frighten unsuspecting users into paying for entirely fake and unnecessary technical services. They also frequently deploy bogus antivirus alerts. These alerts falsely claim a user's device is infected, tricking individuals into downloading actual malware disguised as a security solution. Fake streaming websites offering free movies or shows and illicit pornographic sites are also common vehicles for their payloads. These sites often lead to further malware infections, credential theft, or financial fraud. Phishing pages, meticulously crafted to steal login credentials for banking or email, are another frequent and damaging payload. The attackers clearly aim to monetize their unauthorized access as quickly and widely as possible. A particularly insidious and effective tactic employed by Hazy involves tricking users into granting permission for browser push notifications. Once this permission is unwittingly granted by the user, these notifications begin to deliver persistent and intrusive alerts and advertisements directly to their device. A crucial aspect of this technique is that these alerts continue to appear even after the user has navigated away from the initial scam site. This creates an ongoing and frustrating nuisance for the victim, often leading to further clicks on malicious content. More importantly for the attackers, it generates a continuous and reliable stream of revenue for Hazy Each click or interaction with these push notifications can be monetized through various affiliate schemes or ad networks. This clever technique significantly extends the lifespan and overall profitability of their malicious campaigns, long after the initial compromise. the fundamental and most important lesson to be learned from the concerning rise of the Hazy Hawk campaign is the absolutely critical importance of diligent and consistent DNS record management. Organizations of all sizes must begin to treat their DNS records not as mere technical settings, but as vital security assets requiring careful stewardship. When a cloud service, an externally hosted application, or any other externally pointed resource is decommissioned or retired, the process of updating the corresponding DNS record is not merely optional. It is, in fact, an essential and non-negotiable security step. Failing to promptly remove or correctly redirect these CNAME, A, or MX records effectively leaves a digital door wide open for opportunistic attackers like Hazy Hawk. This basic practice of digital hygiene can prevent widespread compromise, significant financial loss, and severe reputational damage. It is absolutely crucial for organizations to understand that Hazy Hawk is not an isolated case or a unique phenomenon. Other malicious threat actors, such as the group that researchers have named Savvy Seahorse, have also been observed actively abusing CNAME records in very similar ways. They too employ these tactics for traffic distribution system redirection, often leading unsuspecting users to fraudulent fake investment platforms or other financial scams. This pattern clearly indicates a broader and concerning trend of threat actors systematically exploiting common DNS misconfigurations. Organizations must therefore adopt a consistently proactive and highly vigilant stance towards their DNS security. Regular, thorough audits of all DNS records, coupled with prompt updates and deletions for decommissioned services, are paramount to fortifying defenses against this evolving and dangerous category of cyber threats. Eternal vigilance remains the ongoing price of digital safety and security in today's interconnected world.